Vanakkam. I take immense pleasure in welcoming you all to CAPA's kitchen. My name is Kapu and I am the Secretary of CAPA for the past 4 years. This is a fantastic organization and I take immense pleasure to work with them and to be on the board. I am very excited to share the very first recipe from India. This is from the south of India and I'm going to use very traditional ingredients, which is something similar to the quinoa that we use here. Millets has been in use for the past 2,000 to 3,000 years in India. And this is a gluten-free grain and it is extremely helpful in keeping your glycemic index low. This is again a very easily digestible grain, and I'm going to show you a traditional recipe using coconut milk and jaggery for sweetener. Again, this is also a vegan diet, as you can see, and it is also lactose free. But this is how it is traditionally made. I did not make any extra attempts to do this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you what the recipe is. This is traditionally called as payasam in Tamil. Okay, Tamil is a language and payasam is what it's called. It's a form of a kheer or a porridge. You can call it a porridge. And this is usually, as I said, it's done with coconut milk, jaggery, and this form of millet. I want to show you this millet. This is similar to quinoa, and as you can see, let me show you this. It's like rice broken very fine. And I have, just so we can save some time, I have pressure cooked the millets in Instapot with about 4 cups of water, 1 cup of millets for about 4 to 5 cups of water. It's okay. You can add even if you needed more. And then I transferred it to this container, and now we're going to start the cooking process. But I just wanted to show you this grain. And then the other ingredients are coconut milk, and added about half a cup of water to it. And then this is the jaggery, and this is about 1 cup of jaggery. And then I have some ghee, which is melted butter, and that's ghee. And then I have some cashews, pistachios, and raisins. And this is cardamom, green cardamom powder, which generally gives you that great flavor in Indian traditional sweets. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into the recipe. Now, as you see, I have the millets here. It's kind of boiling right now. It's cooked very fine. It takes about 5 minutes to cook in the Instapot. You just have to add enough water, put the millets in there, and then just cook it for 5 minutes, and it's done. And you can transfer it to another container. I am going to start adding all the ingredients. So now what we do is I'm going to add the jaggery to it. And feel free to add water as needed, because there is really not a big difference that it would make. It depends if you like the porridge or the payasam to be a little bit thicker, you can add less water. Otherwise, you can add more water to it and make it a little more runny. It's again a total preference as to whatever you want to do. And as you can see, it just takes very few minutes to have the jaggery dissolved. And to tell you a little bit of the benefits of these millets. Millets are amazing. As I said earlier, they are gluten-free, and they contain a lot of potassium. They contain a lot of iron, and it is extremely nutritious. And usually, earlier, older days in India, they never had rice. Rice was kind of introduced a little bit later. Our old texts and literature talk a lot about these millets. There are about 6 to I think there's about 15 kinds of millets, and each millet has its own quality and own nutritious value. So as you see, the color changes really nice and caramelly brown. So this is almost done, and that's it. This is done. So next one, and now it's ready for the coconut milk. So usually coconut milk is added in the end, it is usually added in the end so that coconut does not boil too much. And there we go. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to combine. Oh, it looks delicious. It looks very, very appetizing. And it's all good for you. A dessert which is all good for you. So while the coconut milk is completely melted, we can get ready to season it. Okay, we usually season it with ghee, and if you want to make it truly dairy free, you can use a little bit of oil, any unflavored oil, to do the seasoning. But ghee is good. I know it is dairy, but it's got immense healing properties and it coats the intestine, so it's always used for seasoning. So this is nice and combined at the minute. So I'm going to take this off the stove and get my saucepan on to season. Okay, so I have removed this from the stove and I'm going to start seasoning. So you add the ghee. This is about a tablespoon of ghee. And as I said, if you truly want to keep it dairy free, or if you're lactose intolerant, you can use oil instead. But the flavor of ghee is just amazing. You'll never go back to oil. We can start adding the cashews and the pistachios. It does not take too long to get this done. So as you can see, the cashews and the pistachios are starting to get slightly browned. And usually what happens is when you put raisins, dried raisins in ghee, it plumps up beautifully, which you will see. Give it a second and you'll be able to see that. Okay, as you can see, the raisins are starting to become plumpy. See that? It was very dry, it starts to become plumpy. So now it's time to switch off the stove and add it to our pot. Okay, as you can see, it smells amazing. The ghee and the roasted cashews and raisins and pistachios is just amazing. You have to really, really try this. Now I'm adding another ingredient, which is the green cardamom. This is powdered green cardamom, okay? And this is another thing which adds to that flavor and texture and aroma of this dish. So here we go. I'm adding about a half a teaspoon of green cardamom powder. And all these ingredients are available in the local Indian stores anywhere you go, and pretty much most of them are also available on Amazon. We'll try to leave some links where you can purchase these items. And there you go. You have this traditional and authentic South Indian recipe called payasam, made with millets. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we are going to bring one authentic recipe from each Asian Pacific culture. Please go ahead and share the video with your friends and family so that we can enjoy the traditional foods cooked by the various chefs on the show. Thank you. See you soon in another episode. I'm going to enjoy this now.